The next morning, Kemi woke before the sun. She lay still on her thin mattress, listening to the sounds of Ajigona waking up. A rooster crowed somewhere nearby. A woman shouted prices for bread. A bus honked, loud and impatient. Life was moving as it always did, but inside Kemi, everything felt different, like the ground beneath her feet had quietly shifted. Her phone buzzed. Kemi sat up quickly, heart racing. For a moment, she thought it might be a mistake. Or a dream. Unknown number. She stared at the screen, then answered. Hello. Kemi, a calm male voice said. This is Kabir Adebayo. Her breath caught. She almost dropped the phone. Yes, sir, she said quickly, standing up as if he could see her. I hope I didn't wake you, he said. No, sir, Kemi replied. I'm awake. There was a brief pause. My mother is stable, Kabir said. She asked for you again this morning. Kemi closed her eyes in relief. Thank God. She would like to see you today, Kabir continued. If you are willing. Kemi did not hesitate. Yes, sir. I'll come. I'll send a car, Kabir said. Kemi froze. Sir, that won't be necessary. I can take a bus. Another pause. Then a soft chuckle. You are still thinking like yesterday, Kabir said. Please let us do this properly. When the call ended, Kemi sat back down slowly. Her mother appeared at the doorway, wrapper tied firmly around her waist. Who was that? She asked. Kemi looked up, eyes wide. Mama, the billionaire called. Her mother blinked. He said his mother is awake, Kemi said. She wants to see me. Her mother sat down heavily on the bed. For a long moment, she said nothing. Then she reached out and held Kemi's hand. My daughter, she said quietly, walk carefully today. When powerful people are involved, kindness must be guided by wisdom. Kemi nodded. Yes, Mama. Less than an hour later, a black car stopped in front of their house. Neighbors slowed down. Children stopped playing. Curtains shifted. Kemi stepped out, wearing a simple dress and flat shoes. She felt small as she entered the car, but she reminded herself of the old woman's words. A good heart only grows stronger. At the hospital, the mood felt lighter than the day before. Nurses smiled. The air did not feel as heavy. Kemi was led into the room. The old woman lay propped up on pillows now. Her eyes were brighter. When she saw Kemi, she smiled like someone seeing a long-lost child. You came, she said. Yes, Mama, Kemi replied, moving closer. How are you feeling today? I am still here, the woman said. That is enough. Kabir stood nearby, watching them quietly. Kemi, the woman said, sit. Kemi sat beside the bed. The old woman studied her face carefully, like she was memorizing it. Do you know why I asked you to come? She asked. Kemi shook her head. No, Mama. The woman glanced at her son. Kabir, she said, tell her. Kabir hesitated. Then he spoke. My mother has been sick for a long time, he said. Doctors warned us. She refused to stay hidden at home. The old woman smiled faintly. I was not afraid of dying, she said. I was afraid of leaving behind a world where people no longer see each other. She turned back to Kemi. Yesterday was not an accident. Kemi's chest tightened. You planned it. Yes, the woman said gently. I dressed simply. I left without telling anyone. I wanted to walk as an ordinary woman. No name. No protection. Kabir lowered his head. I wanted to know, the woman continued, if my son's success had any meaning beyond money. Kemi felt overwhelmed. Mama. I didn't know. That is why it mattered, the woman said. True kindness does not wait for introductions. She reached under her pillow and pulled out a small folded paper. Her hands shook slightly. Kabir, she said, bring it. Kabir stepped forward. His face grew serious as he saw the paper. What is that? Kemi asked softly. The old woman looked at her. A decision, she said. Kabir took the paper, unfolded it, and read silently. His eyes widened. Mama, he said, voice low. Are you sure? She nodded. Very sure. Kabir looked at Kemi now, his gaze heavy with meaning. My mother has asked me to do something, he said. Something that involves you. Kemi's heart began to pound. Sir. Before he could continue, the door opened suddenly. A woman in a sharp suit walked in, heels clicking, face tight with concern. Chief Adebayo, she said. The board is asking questions. News is spreading. Kabir frowned. What news? The story about your mother collapsing outside the company, the woman said. Someone took photos. They are online. Kemi's stomach dropped. Photos. People. Judgment. Kabir exhaled slowly. Give me time, he said. I'll handle it. The woman nodded and left. Silence returned to the room, heavier than before. The old woman sighed. You see, she said. Even kindness can become noise in this world. She looked at Kemi again. Are you afraid? Kemi thought for a moment. Then she answered honestly. Yes, Mama. But I will still do it again. The old woman smiled, deep and satisfied. Kabir folded the paper carefully and slipped it into his jacket. Kemi, he said, what my mother has decided will place you in a difficult position. Kemi swallowed. Sir, whatever it is. I will listen. Kabir nodded. Good. Because once this is announced, your life will not be quiet again. At that moment, the old woman reached for Kemi's hand and squeezed it. Child, she said softly, yesterday you chose compassion over your dream job. Kemi nodded. The woman's eyes shone. Today, compassion may choose you back. Kemi's breath caught. Kabir looked between them, then spoke slowly. Tomorrow, he said, there will be a meeting. A public one. Kemi frowned. A meeting. Yes, Kabir replied. And when it happens, everyone will know who you are, and why my mother walked into the street alone. Kemi felt the room tilt slightly. What does that mean for me? She asked. Kabir met her eyes. It means your test is not over yet. The old woman smiled calmly, as if she already knew the ending. And as Kemi sat there, holding the hand of a woman who had quietly changed her life, she realized something frightening and true. Choosing kindness had opened a door. But she had no idea what was waiting for her on the other side. The news spread faster than Kemi expected. By evening, her phone would not stop buzzing. Messages came from numbers she did not know. Some were kind. Some were curious. Some felt sharp, like they were looking for something to blame. Is it true you helped the billionaire's mother? Are you the girl from the photos? Were you paid? Kemi turned her phone face down and sat quietly on the edge of her bed. Her mother watched her closely from across the room. Do not answer anyone, her mother said firmly. Let truth speak for itself. Kemi nodded, though her heart was restless. The next morning, the black car returned. This time, people did not pretend not to notice. Neighbors whispered. Children pointed. A man selling oranges nearby shook his head in disbelief. Kemi kept her eyes forward as she entered the car, her palms sweating. At the company headquarters, everything looked different from the day she had run past it in panic. Cameras stood outside now. Reporters murmured to each other. Security was tight. Inside, the building was silent. Kemi was led into a large hall she had never seen before. Rows of chairs filled the space. At the front was a long table with name cards placed neatly on it. The boardroom. People were already seated. Executives. Managers. Staff members. All dressed sharply. All watching her. Kemi felt small. Kabir entered moments later, calm and controlled. He walked to the front and stood behind the table. "My mother will join us shortly," he said. "Until then, please listen." The room settled. "Yesterday," Kabir continued, "a story went public. Some of you have seen photos. Some of you have made assumptions." His eyes moved across the room, stopping briefly on a few faces. "What you saw was not a scandal," he said. "It was a mirror." Murmurs rose softly. Kabir raised a hand. "My mother walked into this city alone, dressed simply, with no protection, no name. She wanted to know how the world treats those who appear to have nothing." Kemi's chest tightened. "She collapsed outside this building," Kabir said. "Many people walked past her. Only one stopped." He turned and looked directly at Kemi. "This young woman," he said, "chose compassion over her future. She missed her interview. She stayed." The room went very quiet. At that moment, Kabir said, "She represented everything this company claims to stand for. And everything we have slowly forgotten." The doors at the side of the hall opened. 2 nurses wheeled in a chair. The room gasped softly. The old woman sat upright, wrapped neatly, her face calm but firm. Though weak, her presence filled the space. Kabir moved quickly to her side. "Mama," he said gently. She placed a hand on his arm. "I am fine," she said. "Let me speak." All eyes turned to her. "I am not here to shame anyone," the old woman said, her voice soft but steady. "I am here to remind." She looked around the room slowly. Money builds walls. Kindness builds bridges. Her eyes settled on Kemi. "This girl did not know who I was," she said. She did not stop because she hoped to gain. She stopped because she saw herself in me. Kemi's eyes filled with tears. The woman turned back to the room. "That is the kind of person we must protect. Not use. Not exploit. Protect." She nodded to Kabir. Kabir took a breath. "My mother made a decision," he said. "Before she fell ill." He paused. "She asked me to create a new foundation. One focused not on numbers, but on character. And she asked that the first person to lead it be chosen not by certificates, but by action." The room stirred. Kabir looked at Kemi again. "Kemi," he said, "my mother nominated you." Kemi's word went still. "Me?" Her knees weakened. "Sir. I don't understand." "You will," Kabir said. "But not today." The old woman reached out to her. "Child," she said gently, "this is not a reward. It is work." Kemi nodded slowly, overwhelmed. A hand rose from the table. "With respect," a board member said, "this is all very sudden." The old woman smiled faintly. "So was my collapse," she replied. "And yet, here we are." Silence followed. Kabir straightened. "There will be questions," he said. "There will be noise. But the decision stands." He looked at Kemi, his voice lowering. "Your life is about to change," he said. "And not everyone will be happy about it." As the meeting came to an end, people stood slowly, whispering among themselves. Some looked at Kemi with admiration. Others with doubt. Kemi felt all of it. Later, as she walked beside the old woman toward the exit, she whispered, "Mama, what if I fail?" The woman squeezed her hand. "Then you will learn," she said. And learning is not failure. Outside, the cameras flashed again. Kemi shielded her eyes, fear rising in her chest. This was no longer just about kindness. This was about courage. And as she stepped into the waiting car, Kemi realized something with a sudden clarity. The test that began on the pavement was not finished. It had only grown bigger. And tomorrow, she would have to decide who she would become in front of the whole world. Kemi did not sleep that night. She lay awake, listening to the city breathe through the open window. Cars passed. A radio played softly somewhere. Every sound felt louder than usual, like the world was waiting for her to make a mistake. By morning, her phone was quiet. No new messages. No new calls. That silence scared her more than the noise. When the black car arrived again, Kemi felt ready and unready at the same time. She wore a simple dress, the same calm face she had learned from her mother. As she stepped outside, her neighbors watched with a mix of pride and fear. Her mother held her hands at the door. "Remember who you are," she said. "And remember where you are from." "I will," Kemi promised. At the headquarters, the cameras were fewer now. The excitement had cooled into curiosity. Inside, Kabir waited with his mother in a quiet meeting room. The old woman looked tired, but peaceful. "Kemi," she said warmly. "Sit." Kemi sat across from them, her back straight. "Kabir has told me about the noise," the woman said. "About the questions." Kemi nodded. "People think I was chosen because of you." The woman smiled. "People always explain kindness in ways that make them comfortable." Kabir leaned forward. "This is why we called you," he said. "Before anything is announced fully, you must decide." "Decide what?" Kemi asked. Kabir took a breath. "The foundation will be public. Your name will be public. There will be pressure. Criticism. People will test you." The old woman added gently, "And you can say no." Kemi was surprised. "No." "Yes," Kabir said. "You can walk away. We will still help you find work." Quietly. No spotlight. The room was still. Kemi thought of the pavement. The heat. The old woman's hand gripping her wrist. She thought of her mother's tired smile. She thought of the interview she had missed and the dream she once believed was everything. She looked up. "If I say yes," she said slowly, "what do you expect from me?" The old woman's eyes shone. "Honesty," she said. "Courage. And the strength to choose people, even when it costs you." Kemi nodded. "Then I will say yes." Kabir smiled, not wide, but real. "Then we begin." That afternoon, the announcement was made. Not with music. Not with celebration. Just words. Kabir stood before the press. His mother sat beside him. Kemi stood a step behind, hands clasped, heart steady. "My mother tested the world," Kabir said. "And the world failed. Except for one person." He gestured to Kemi. "She will lead our new foundation. Not because she is perfect, but because she acted when no one was watching." Questions flew. Doubts rose. But the story was clear. Kemi did not speak much. When she did, her voice was calm. "I am not special," she said. "I just stopped." That line traveled far. In the weeks that followed, life changed slowly. Kemi learned. She listened. She made mistakes. She corrected them. She visited hospitals. She met people who had been ignored. She sat with cleaners, guards, market women, and young people chasing dreams that felt too big. Sometimes, the cameras followed her. Sometimes, they did not. The old woman watched from a distance, smiling. One evening, Kemi visited her at home. The woman was weaker now, resting in a chair near the window. You did well, she said softly. I'm still learning, Kemi replied. The woman nodded. That means you are alive. She took Kemi's hand. Do you know why I chose you? Kemi shook her head. Because you did not ask who I was, the woman said. You asked if I was okay. A week later, the old woman passed away quietly in her sleep. There were no secrets. No regrets. At the memorial, Kabir stood beside Kemi. The city mourned, not just a billionaire's mother, but a woman who reminded people how to see again. Afterward, Kabir turned to Kemi. My mother trusted you, he said. I do too. Kemi nodded. I won't forget her. Months later, on a busy street not far from the company building, a young girl dropped her books and began to cry. Before anyone else could walk past, Kemi stopped. She knelt. And somewhere, in the quiet place where kindness goes when it is done, a lesson completed itself. Because dreams do change shape. But compassion, once chosen, never does.